Hello, everyone. Happy New Year's. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. And there we go. Everything's good. I think it's going to be a really quiet night tonight. So, you know, chat away. Let's see. Tonight, we are working in Pastels and colored pencil for this Hummingbird. I have, oh, that camera died. Hey, look. Shocker. Let's see. Hold on. Let me fix this. Is going to be the easel. And let me deactivate and reactivate that camera. And it looks like we are back. Okay, so here is the Hummingbird. If you have not already, you can head over to the link in the video description to download your reference photo and the line drawing if you need it. Although, if you're going to trace, I recommend you trace from the photo, not the line drawing. You're going to get more accurate everything. And you actually improve your drawing skills when you trace from photos versus tracing somebody else's tracing. Also, these glasses are super dirty. Do I have a... I'm just noticing as the lights are hitting my eyes. Okay, I know I used to keep a whole bunch of clean your glasses stuff in here. I know they've got to be in here, but that is going to drive me crazy. I didn't even notice until the light started from the camera thing started hitting. Here we go. I do have some. Oh, this one's a paint palette. How cute is this glasses? It's a glasses cleaner thing. Oh, it doesn't really look like it when it's all bent, but it's a paint palette. Anyway, I'll be able to see you now. So you can't keep making faces at me. I'll be able to tell. Okay. Oh, much better. Okay. Also, if you need glasses cleaners, I get these. What are they from? Jinkies, Jinki. Here, hold look. Jinkies. If you Google that, like, look how cute this is. It's just, it's a paint palette to clean your glasses with. And they have such cute stuff like flowers. I've gotten, what was one of them? I think I have an octopus. Is it an octopus? I know I haven't got the shark. Like, there's so many cute, like, bizarre. You could get stuff that looks like bacon or ham to clean your glasses with. I got my dad one. It looks like one of those old red shop rags, has grease all over it. So people are like, what are you wiping your glasses with? It's funny. Anyway, moving on. That is not why we're here tonight. So I'm going to be working, I'm going to do a base layer of Pastels on this. I'm working on Inktense and MeWe. This is the smooth side. And I'll be going over that with colored pencils. We do have our goal for tonight. If we get 10 super chats, the boys get their full-sized kit. This one's huge. Wade gets that one because Wade blows through carrots like so fast. He loves them. Well, they both love them, but he's a chomp. He chomps on a lot. Anyway, moving on. Let's see what else. So I'm using the 20 set. It's just a basic 20 pack of Pastels, and I'll be mixing my colors from that. After the live stream, we have a couple things I want to talk about. I want to show you guys one of my favorite, like, I am obsessed with these brushes. They're super cheap, and the more I use these ones, the more I love them. Actually, there's one specific brush I've been using nonstop for, and I'm going to do a demonstration to show you how you can get such tiny details with those, better than what I'm getting with liner brushes. I love them. Let's see, I've also got a box opening from a Blick order recently. I figured we may as well open that because I haven't opened it yet. It's been sitting in my hallway for 2 weeks. So yeah, that is some of the fun stuff we've got coming up for after the project. Let's see, anything else I'm forgetting? Probably. I don't know what it is yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the drawing. I've already used the transfer paper to transfer my drawing cleanly onto the paper so I don't have smudge marks or anything all over the place. And let's take the lid off this. I have paintbrushes all over my floor. I keep stepping on. I really need to clean my studio. Okay. I'm going to be using soft tools. And I'm going to start by mixing my phthalo green and phthalo blue to get a teal color. I'm just going to mix those two. And this brush previously had black all over it. It doesn't really matter. We're going to mix those together. And I'm now going to paint this over the background, or fill it in. Oh, that's too blue. I need more green. There we go. And I want this to just be a little bit blotchy. Very similar to the butterfly we did a couple of weeks ago, which I still need to send out. I ended up waiting to ship that because everything was getting lost. Like, too many people having problems with things getting lost in the mail. So that will be going out probably Friday. But I loved that teal color, so that is what I'm going for here. Now I'm going, oh, we are already starting off. Pauline said, let's get the party started. Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Do you boys want a super chat? Okay, I've got them back here. Let's get a couple of larger ones. Thank you so much, Pauline. Oops, hold on. No, we don't die for it. I will give it to you. Thank you. The boys definitely thank you. Wade's going to take it to his bed. Got to eat it over there. Okay. So next, I am going to take black, and I don't need to switch the smart soft tool cover. Lay down, Gibson. Lay down. And I'm going to pull the black. Even though the paper's black, this is going to help me to get a nice soft transition between the two. Now keep in mind too, this is the goal for this is to be a 5x7, but the paper is a bit larger. It's a 6x8. I always go like an extra inch wider than what I want the end to be. The mat is going to cut a lot of this off around the edge. I want to pull some more in. Just let that fade. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wipe some of that off and use the same brush to soften a few of these brush strokes. I'm good with their beam brush strokes. I want it to be blotchy, but I just want to soften just a bit that transition into the black. There we go. Now that light is, let's see, it's a little bit lighter than what it really is in person. Let me see if I can fix that camera. It's not quite that bright. Camera 2, and oh, I think it just auto-fixed itself. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I don't need to do anything else to it then. A little bit darker maybe. We'll leave it. Okay. Now on to the base layers for the Hummingbird. So around the face, I don't want to use this same dirty brush because I need this to be lighter and it would actually just blend so much of that teal into it. While I will be blending some teal, I don't want that much. Man, I placed that Blick order and I forgot to order more of my Pastels white. I keep forgetting to order more of that. Okay, so I'm going to start by the chest here. And I'm just using white for now. I will be blending some of the teal into this. Now my original photo that I got from, I forget if this was Unsplash or Pixabay, but it was a green background. Now, fun fact about green, it is actually harder to sell green artwork than any other color. There are galleries who won't accept artwork that is primarily green because they know that it's very hard to get buyers for it. Kind of a weird, like, just weird. Fix that because I pulled the white a little bit where I didn't want. Now, I actually like how this gave me a soft transition. I don't know if it really shows on the video, but I've got a slight soft transition between the white and the teal. I'm going to pull more teal to soften that even more. So I changed the background from the green, and that means I need to pull some of the teal color or whatever color. Let's say you did a purple background, then you would pull purple into the whites. If you did any other color you can imagine, you're going to pull that color into the subject. So we're just going to lightly use what's on that brush and pull that in. Plus, I want this to be a little bit darker than what the reference photo calls for because I am going to be coming on top with white highlights. And if I'm too light here, the highlights won't show. So I'm going to use a bit of raw sienna and red iron oxide. And we're going to pull a little bit right under the beak. We've got that, if you're looking at the reference photo, kind of an orangey color. Need a little bit more of the red iron oxide here. And again, I want to go a little darker or a lot darker than what I want the end result to be so that when I come on top with a colored pencil, this will really show up. I'm even going to pull a little bit of red with the red oxide. Let's make that stand out a bit more. There we go. Okay, now we need a base for the green. What do I want to go with there? So if I went by the darkest color in a lot of that, that would be kind of a grayish color, but the green is not going to be as bright as it would be. I'm debating on if I want to put any of the green in. Yeah, I may as well. So what I'm going to do is wipe this brush off. I can use the same one, But I'm going to kind of clean that up. And I want to get some of this bright lime green just to make sure that some of this ends up standing out a lot. Because it's going to, so pan pastels are super opaque compared to a lot of the colored pencils. So this way, when I come on top with the colored pencils, it is going to stand out. Now the downside is I'm going to have to work with the negative space, pulling darks in. Usually I like to put the highlights on top, but I just think that because I want this green, this specific green to be so bright, I'm going to have a better time of making it stay that bright if I just go ahead and put the pan pastels down first. So this is, which green is this? Bright yellow green. And I'll have to clean all of the details up on these feathers. See how I'm filling in the individual feathers? I'm not just solid, going in through solid. That leaves me with these little dark gaps. And as always, this is available if you want to bid on the original. The starting bid is $70, and this will come matted, so you just pop it into any 8x10 frame behind glass. And all of this gets chopped. It actually doesn't show that much down there because once we put the mat on it. The colored pencils are going to fill in a lot of this. Just want to make sure that brightest green. So one of the things that is often a challenge is trying to make something look metallic or shiny. And it seems like it's hard, but it's not. It's that you just need high contrast between the lights and your darks. You want the bright colors super bright right up against the super dark colors. And that is what gives you that metallic or shiny look. And especially in the case of a hummingbird with those feathers, a peacock would be the same thing. We've got that super high contrast between the lights and the darks. Now here, this actually has a lot of the white that shows through, so I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to reload with just some of the white. Actually, let's do gray and pull that right around the face. And I'm not putting this on super heavy. I can still see, you can't see it on the camera, but I can still see some of my little lines that were my guidelines for those feathers in there. Okay, and the back is going to be super dark. I'm going to come through with more of the violet, or not violet, the phthalo blue and phthalo green mixture and some black. This is going to be that shadow right down the back here. Just kind of pull that in. I'm going to pull that gray over the beak too, so I'll just put the highlight with the white in the pencils. And the eye, I don't really need to worry. I guess I could do the eye. I'm just going to put red iron oxide with some black to get that dark chocolate color. And that is the color combination. So here's the cool thing. However you blend a color or in paint, so oil paint, acrylic paint, same thing with the pan pastels. Red iron oxide and black, or burnt sienna and black, those are going to give you a brown color when they mix together. And that's what I'm doing here. I don't need a perfect shape. I'll fix that with the colored pencils. I think it gives me a good base. Actually, let's come through with some phthalo green in between a few of these. The green in the reference photo would be more of a hooker's green, but I don't have that, and this looks just fine. We often get so hung up over finding the perfect color. The perfect color does not matter, as long as I get that contrast with my lights and my darks. Okay. I'm going to pull a little bit more with these two greens. I've got that's really going to get cut off. I just want to make sure that the work goes all the way to the bottom, and I'll show you what I mean there. When the mat goes on, you're not going to see most of that. It's going to hit right, actually I'll probably put it lower. I'll probably do right about there, so some of that will show. See, it's a good thing I'm filling that in. Okay, now I'm going to do a light misting with my Spectrafix, and then I'm going to dry it. Is my hairdryer plugged in? Yep. So Spectrafix, this is the fixative I use in between. I use it anytime I'm using pan pastels to kind of seal them down so they stick better to the paper long term, because over the years it will start to kind of fall off the work. Not usually so bad that it makes a big difference to the viewer. They're not going to notice, but you'll notice on your mat where powder is starting to collect there. This is going to help prevent that to an extent. It also is going to make it so that the colored pencil going on top sticks a lot better and stays like bold and sharp marks. And if I were to want to blend anything with odorless mineral spirits, which I shouldn't for this project, but if I did, as long as I've got a base of, or like a layer of Spectrafix covering the pan pastels, I can go over with OMS with a colored pencil with no problem. If I don't put this and I go over with OMS, it ends up creating kind of a paste. So we're just going to go right over that. I recommend a lighter mist than what I'm doing, but for time, I'm going to go heavier. Now drying this speeds up the dry time obviously, but it also helps the paper pull back into shape, because if you don't do that, it gets kind of flappy and sometimes it will dry warped. Unicorn Art had asked what colors are the best, fastest. I would think blue would be at the top of the list. I'm not sure what you're talking about, so if you want to give me more information like what colors for this, for paint, I'm not sure. I'll answer all the questions at the end of the live stream, so bring those in, but I just wanted to pull that up now just because I'm not sure what you're asking. Okay, let's put these away and grab the colored pencils. I just stuck my finger in the pan pastels because I'm a pro. And let's move these out of the way. Hey, maybe I'll even put them away. That's a first. I had a hard time finding them tonight because I wasn't sure where I put them. What else? Oh, pencils. I'm just gonna grab everything. Okay. So let's start with the eye. Oh, I'm going to need my glassine. So what I've done is, and I should have done this years ago because it's worked out so well. Normal cardboard box, this is probably an Amazon box, and I taped glassine to one side. The tape is all in the back. This allows me to put this on my easel and just move it where I need it so I don't have to continuously tape and retape glassine. This has made my life so much easier. I just wipe it down when it gets too dirty so it's not smudging anything, but it is absolutely wonderful. So much better than what I used to do. Okay, actually I'm gonna start with a beak, I lied. Let's go with a gray, and I'm gonna go with polychromos because those are going to sharpen to a finer point and hold that point better. This one looks good. This is cold gray too. Sure, that works. It doesn't really matter if you're using a warm or cool gray on this. I need my jar for my pencil shavings. Oh, hey, look, shocker. That's not where it's supposed to be. Huh. Oh, there it is. 1 week off from a live stream, and I don't know where anything is. Okay, we're going to sharpen those, and I just use these little metal Coom pencil sharpeners. They are wonderful, although when they start to get dull, that's how you know when these sharpeners are not working anymore, when your pencils, if you're working with polychrome or with Prismacolor, they're gonna break no matter what. But if you're working with any other brand and they're breaking every time you sharpen it, your pencil sharpener is dull. Ooh, this one's apparently in happy condition. Okay, so we've got this highlight here. Gonna make sure to keep that edge nice and clean. So I want that nice sharp pencil. Oh, we've got a super chat from Kirsten. Do you boys want a super chat? That is a yes. Thank you so much. Let's stick this pile up here. Oh, that's tasty super chat, huh? Good boys. Thank you so much. That's good. That's it. That's all you get. Don't look for more. Go lay down. Down, 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 cow. Cow, go lay down. He's like, no, I don't want to. I'm just going to stand here and wait for more. And that's why he's the bad cow. Actually, it's Gibson who's not been listening lately. Got that nice sharp black pencil. We've got that beak kind of curves up there. And I'm going to need an orangey color. Let's see what I've got. Caput Mortem would probably work fine. Yeah, that'll work. Cow's over there giving me sad cow eyes now. So that Caput Mortem just has a little bit of color on the tip of the brush there. Let's see if I can zoom that in a bit for you. There we go. And then I'm going to use the Caput Mortem again here first. I'll come back through with a little bit of an orangey, peach, coral, something like that color. Let's see what I've got. Ooh. This looks good. This is Venetian red. Whenever I'm doing the small details like this, whenever possible, I really like my polychromos just because they just hold that point so nicely. Rob said, is that a big bag of snacks in the lower corner? Yeah, this is it's a bag of sweet potatoes just chopped up. And then we've got down here, well, you can't see it on camera now. I've got 2 large carrots in case we hit our goal. Oh, they're looking at that. Oh my gosh, sad puppy face. Gibson's giving, you can't see, he's looking at me with his head tilted like, I get that now? No, not now. Okay, oh, wrong camera. Oh yeah, look at how perfectly that blends into the Caput Mortem. And then let's pull that black down a little bit more here. A little bit of a shadow. I'm going to use that gray just around the edge. I'll switch to white for the lighter areas in a moment. Okay, let's skip ahead to, actually no, I lied. This comes down too far. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the eye. So we'll start with the black right around the edge there. Clean up what I did with the Pan Pastels. I'm going to map out that highlight. That highlight, I'm going to start with blue. We'll use, what is this one? Cobalt turquoise, that works. And I want white, but I want to go with a really bright white, something that's going to be more opaque. So either Derwent Lightfast will work, Derwent Lightfast, or my Caran d'Ache Luminance. Either of those would work great for this. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting where that highlight is. I'm starting with the white. If I put the blue first, then the white is just going to kind of blend in with that. I want to make sure this is curved. And I'm going to take my blue right around the outer edge. And now I can come back through with the black. Oops, that is not black. I don't know what color you think that is. It's not even close to black. Now, right now, it looks scary, like he's just staring at you. He definitely got into the caffeine. Speaking of, my tea is sitting over here. Okay. And I'm just lightly, I'm not pushing super hard. I want that black to fade. Make sure to round that off a bit. Kind of messed up the shape there. I just need to pull that out. There we go. Now, this whole light area of the eye is way too light. That needs to soften up, and that's going to fix that stare. I do want it a little bit lighter down there, just not that light. Much better. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pull a little bit of that reddish color we used earlier, that Venetian red. Just get a little bit of the highlighting down there. And now I'm going to switch to the gray and just dot. Let's see, how do I want that? More on the inside. Let's sharpen that a little bit more. Right around the ring there. And then, let's see, we've got a little bit more of a shadow up here, right above that. I pulled green down a bit too far. We'll push that back. And I've also got to fix the shape here. He's got a droopy eye. Pull that in. There we go. And I'm just going to draw little circles. These are where the feathers are, right around that outer ring. And I can take my white right inside of some of those. So teeny tiny detail here. Okay. Now let's pull some of the greens out that we're going to need. I need like bright colors. No, that's not really that bright. Here, kind of not. I'll let you know what colors I'm grabbing once I've pulled a selection out. Oh, we've got from Deborah. Do you boys want another super chat from Deborah? Thank you so much. Okay, one for you. One for you. Thank you, Deborah. Oh, that's very tasty, huh? So good. Now go lay down. Lay down. Down. Gibson's like, I saw that you had carrots, so don't try to trick me with these sweet potatoes. Alrighty, look at the eye, so here's the thing with the pan pastels. When you do your base layer, it's gonna look kind of out of focus. You're gonna feel like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not detailed. You're trying to add more you don't need detail there. You want the detail once you get further. That's what we're gonna do with the colored pencils. Ooh, that is the bright green I want. Oh God, it's Carandosh. I'm not gonna read it. Spring green. I lied, I can read it. Let's get this mossy color, which is probably called moss green. Good job, Carandosh, on the title on that one. Usually there's something silly. I need, is it malachite green or something like that? Light malachite green. That's in Carandosh Luminance as well. Olive yellow. I might need that. We'll pull it out. Okay, so I've got those. Actually, I don't think I need these polychromos. I'm putting these two greens in, so I don't even need to tell you what they are because I didn't end up going with them. But I am going to go with this emerald green. And I might use Caput Mortem a little bit more. Not so much on the green, but I do need the gray. Okay, so these are the colors in my hands. I will need the white. So I've got my white with my Derwent Lightfast. I've got my black Caput Mortem and emerald green in polychromos. And whenever I can, I really just like the polychromos for this because that does hold the point. But when I need something that's going to be more opaque, I'm going to switch either to Derwent Lightfast or my Carandosh Luminance. So I've got my spring green, I've got moss green, and what was this one? Yellow, olive yellow. and the light malachite green. So that should give me all the colors I need for this. I do need to sharpen that pencil though. A couple of these need to be sharpened. Wow, some of these were super dull. What did I use them on last that I let them get that bad? Okay. Now, and that's not to say that you can't get good details with Derwent Lightfast or with the Caran d'Ache Luminance. You absolutely can. It's just a little easier with the polychromos. But then polychromos aren't as opaque. So, you know, you've got give and take with everything. Pros and cons. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of Caput Mortem right in here. And we've got white feathers, so I'm going to switch over to the white. And the white kind of pulls in the center here. Oops, see, push too hard and it breaks. That's what happens with your softer leads. They're more opaque, but they also can't handle the pressure. Whoops. So I threw it on the floor out of anger. Hey, look, a random piece to my screwdriver. Why is that down there? I can tell Roomba's been in here because it goes under the easel and finds things that I've lost. Okay. We've got that light spring green. It's not really even showing up that much over the brightness that I already had from the Pan Pastels. I'm going to use black in between. I'm going to go a little bit darker than what my reference photo has because that's going to make the green stand out that much more. So the green is not going to be able to get quite as bright as what it would on white paper because I'm on black paper. All of these colors, even the opaque ones, are somewhat translucent. I am just never going to get as bright as the reference photo there. But I can create the illusion by making the darks that much darker. The darks in the photo are actually more of a mid-gray. I'm going to make them black. And that makes my green, my bright colors will feel that much brighter. So now it will look like it's as bright as my reference photo, even though technically it is not. I'm going to break up some of those little feathers in there. Now, don't just do fish scales. That's not the look we're going for. I've got little frayed edges. So see how I'm doing a bunch of little lines here? I have a little bit of gray up here I can pull in with my gray I used earlier. Not too much because I do want a lot of that black. And some of this outline I'll do with more with the teal, so we can hold off on that. Is a 60 set of polychromos enough to start? Absolutely. A 12 set is enough to start with. You will learn so much about blending your colors if you're working with less. We get these huge, huge sets, and I love them. I mean, I always want as many colors as I can afford for sure, but a lot of people get hung up on that because you've got so many, I'm using emerald green here, you've got so many color options that it's easy to just hit this point of being stunned, like deer in the headlights of what color do I choose? If you've only got 12, you're pretty limited. You're not getting hung up on that, and you're learning how to blend to get different colors. So I say less is great to start. Yeah, the 60 is absolutely enough. And it's not like you're going to regret having all those colors, but it is a challenge that a lot of students run into when they've got just too much to choose from. So if you do get a set of 60, when you start a project, start with just a handful. Like I picked the colors that I'm going to go with, and you may think, well, how do you know which colors? They don't have to be perfect. Go for close. If you're following a lesson, go for close. They do not have to be exact. But I mean, if you see me using a green and it's a yellowy green, you can either mix whatever, if you have the 12 set, you would mix your yellow and your green together, start with yellow and layer green on top, or pick something close. It does not have to be exact. You just need to get your values correct. Are your lights light enough, darks dark enough? That is how you make your work look realistic, not by choosing perfect colors. Because even in this one, the lighting, the colors that would choose could be completely different if I just change the time of day. I mean, heck, when I'm recording videos, I have to constantly change the color. If I record in the day, the lighting is what really, I think it ends up being too warm, and in the night it ends up being too blue, too cool. So you get variation there where I have to adjust it just in the same setting, just different time of day. So the colors wouldn't even be the same depending on the time of day, but it doesn't mean that either one looks less realistic. I mean, less than the original for sure, but that's, you get my point, I hope. Also, make sure when you're drawing, don't draw like this. I've seen students do that where you can't see the tip of the pencil. Back your hand up. You need to see. If you can't see the tip of the pencil, something's going wrong. Can I use chalk pastels instead of pan pastels until I can afford to get the pan pastels, or will they not work? They will work. Make sure you do that spray of Spectrafix first. They're a little bit different because they're more chalky, but you can definitely use them. Does that mean you're going to get the exact same results? No, but that also doesn't mean that those results won't be beautiful. I'm just now doing the little individual lines to start breaking that up, and then I'll also come in between with the black, some other colors. I just want them going about the same direction that they are in the reference photo. These actually get to be more of a golden yellow. Let me see. So that is bismuth yellow. I don't know, I can't say it. That's one of those words I never can pronounce right. So we've got more yellow as we work down to this section. I'm going to pull that yellow a little bit up into a couple of these spots. And I'm going to use the emerald green on some of this to create my lines, so I'm not just jumping to black for all of that because I don't want to make these too dark. Another thing that you can use to sharpen your pencil is this guy. So if your pencil, it looks sharp, but you want it a little bit sharper without having to waste, like keep resharpening it and burning through your pencil, we're just going to twist that to the side. Ooh, that's a lot of sirens out there. Now, a lot of people think that because it comes in a set usually with your blending stumps, that it's to sharpen or clean your blending stumps. That is not what that is for. That is how you ruin these. These are supposed to be dirty. They work better when they're dirty. Keep one for cleaner, lighter colors if you need, one for dirty, but dirty is good with these. And as far as sharpening them, if they are, this doesn't actually, it doesn't sharpen them. It just frays them and makes a hot mess. Don't use this for this. This is for sharpening pencils, colored pencils, pastel pencils. Actually, I don't know. I don't use pastels. I think you can use it for pastels, pencils, graphite, anything like that. Don't take my word for the pastel pencil one. That is a lot of sirens out there. My street is really stupid, like outside my house. There's so many accidents because there's no lights or anything. You're in that rural community where they built a bunch of houses before they did the roads. So everyone just runs into everybody. That's just what they do. It's wonderful. Little highlights with white in here. Just a few of these a little bit brighter. Now the white also makes it so it's not quite as color saturated. Like it tones it, it makes it more pastel instead of really bold. So I don't want to overdo that. I kind of want to get right coming down through here though. Now do individual lines, don't zigzag back and forth. The zigzags look terrible. I get lazy and occasionally do it too, but try to, my goal is to lift the pencil, brush stroke down, or pencil stroke down, 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 lift, down, lift, down, lift. Don't just zigzag. flight feathers in there. You can start pulling in some of these feathers. Same thing, little zigzags. Let's see if I can sharpen it and actually keep the point. I'm just doing the same thing, sharpening on here. They asked how the dogs handled the fireworks. The dogs are the only ones that are affected. Wade is the only one who gets scared, but they did pretty good. I put Wade in his crate with a bully stick, and he was happy. But if we let him wander, he just wanders and paces nervously. But he's not as bad. He's gotten way better with time. Thunder used to scare him really bad too, and he's really improved with that. We taught him to run to us when there's thunder or fireworks, and he gets a treat. So it made a big difference. Ooh, Jen, that's a great question. We'll come back. We'll get to that. Now you see why I needed the background to be so dark, so that when I come through with the white, the little white feathers, that they will stand out. Now this is not just random lines all over. That's never going to look real if I continue that. I've got to create these little clumps of feathers. Same thing, lifting the brush in between each. I'm doing it quickly, but don't zigzag. Like a couple spots I didn't lift far enough and got a zigzag look, and it doesn't look cute. No zigzagging. I wasn't sure how this was going to do. I slammed my fingers in the back door the other day. I had a hose. So when I make water for my reef tanks, RODI water, it's outside and the tube runs under the door into the house. And the door, when I went to close it or open it, I don't know what I was doing, but it caught on it and it pulled in. It slammed my fingers so hard. I wasn't sure how this was going to go drawing. It's not too bad. Moral of the story, don't slam your fingers in the back door. It hurts bad. And Wade didn't care at all, even though he's why I was out there. No craps given. He's like, but you're still going to give me my treat for going potty, right? Some dogs care when the owners are hurt or sick. Mine are not some of those dogs. Wade's a little bit. Sometimes if I'm sick, not from injuries apparently. Gibson does not care at all. I'm going to use the white to pull just a little bit of a highlight, not everywhere. Okay, now we've got everything mostly blocked in. He looks decent. Now we've got plenty of time to sit and just refine everything. So I'm going to sharpen my aqua color. I'm going to use this right along the back. Get a little bit of a backlight there. It doesn't need to be everywhere, but I am going to pull this into a couple of places. And then most of this is just going to be with a very sharp black pencil, defining some of the little lines in addition to what I'm doing now. Okay. You can't see the bird because of the ad for the phone cover. What does that look like? I can't see that that would be in the way that you couldn't block it out. I apologize, and I don't know how to fix that. Huh. I'll have to look at that on my phone later and see how that's popping up. You'd think YouTube would know not to put those in the way of stuff. I don't know. Now I can just clean up little things and spend some extra time. Pull a little bit of a shadow under here, break that line up. Oh, I'm glad you found Betty said, this is the first time I found you. I'm enjoying. Yay! This is always a fun time of year because with the holidays being over and a lot of people got new supplies for Christmas, we always get to meet a lot of new people that are new to art or just to the channel. So that's always so super fun. Okay, notice right now, see how flat this entire section looks. This needs to be broken up with shadows. We've got to get shadows in here, and we need to get a lot of shadows right there to change the shape. I've also got to pull a bunch of green in here too. Missing all of that. So let's start defining that now. Really watch the direction of the feathers. Right in here, the feathers swoop down and out that way, and then kind of fray down here around the cheek and over the ear. You want nice sharp pencils for this. Do I have an even darker green? Let me see with my polychromos. Oh, I do. This is going to be better for what I'm doing here. Jen said, I made out like a bandit with art supplies for Christmas this year. Nice. Everyone knows not to buy me art supplies because I'm too picky on what I like. I did get a saw blade, though. That was pretty fun. My in-laws got me a saw blade for the saw I'm super excited about. It's kind of like an art supply. So this screen is wonderful. This is deep cobalt green. This is much better than the emerald green for this area. Again, with a polychromo so that it's super sharp. Remember, just pencil stroke down, lift, pencil stroke down, lift, not zigzag. I'm going to pull this in here too. This is a really good color. That other color, the emerald green, just didn't show up quite as much as this was. It was a little too light. This is great. Defining these little lines in all of these feathers. I'm going to switch back over to my spring green for some of this. Pull that out a bit more. Also, let's pull that malachite green, so the aqua green, right back over some of that. Now we've got some of the black. Now, as I do this, I've got to work with the feathers I already had there. This is not just putting random lines anywhere. I want to make sure that they're clumping together in the right direction. And I'm just getting the deeper shadows in between the feather bunches I've already created. Oops, pushed too hard. But I am pushing really hard. I needed some of this to stand out a lot more, so I'm burnishing. Now I am technically zigzagging, but it's a bit more solid than the individual like lines. I'm not really lifting the pencil here. It looks whiter in person than it does on screen. On screen, it looks a little bit more teal still. If you're hearing tinkling sound, it's my reef tank, just the way the water is moving right now. The frogs actually, I don't think they've been making much sound tonight. I just fed them right before the live stream started, so I think they're busy munching away. But it's possible they were making noise and I just didn't pay attention. I'm so used to listening to them all day, every day. That emerald green. Let's go back over to the black. I really want to define some of these little lines more. And this is just going over feathers that are already established. I'm not making new feathers. I'm getting the shadows in between them. So see how I'm not just putting lines over everything. So I'm really following that curve. Mostly at those outer edges. Again, you can bid on this guy. The starting bid is $70. I need to charge my phone. Oh, he's already got a bid. Does it show me? Yeah. You get a home, buddy. Well, this little detail is just, I don't know, I love doing little teeny tiny detail like this. And especially when you're towards the end of a piece, because it just, the more you do with that, it just keeps getting better and better. It looks a little bit more harsh on the camera. It makes it look more globby than, I don't know how else to explain it, than what it looks like in person. It looks a little bit softer to me. Okay, this whole section in here, I want it to be a bit darker. Curve around the eye, come back out. I need a lot more with the white. Broke the pencil again. Bigger chunks in here. That out with the aqua. Too curved right there. I constantly can look up at the computer monitor. Sometimes I'll notice things. You're sitting this close, you don't notice something's angled a little weird. Looking at on a smaller screen when I'm recording and I've got my bigger video camera here, I always have the viewfinder open, so I'm looking at it to, you'll notice little things that you just didn't notice when you're this close. Oh, he is coming out. I'm really happy with him. Some of these whites in here. Let's see if I can sharpen that pencil again without it breaking. Probably not. When SGW said, I'm trying to do it, but I can't get logged in. I don't know. I unfortunately can't fix that. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can make a new... When you can't get logged in, what is it saying? Because I'm finding apparently a lot of times people are logged in at the time. Actually, hold on just a second. Let me see something really quick. Oh, am I logged in on this computer? I don't think I am. I can delete your account and you can make a new one. Sometimes that works. Let me see. I'm going to do that and you can see if that will help you. Users. But one of the things that seems to happen more often than not is that people are logged in already. And if you try to log in, it keeps giving a weird error thing. So leave a comment. I'm not going to delete it just yet. Try to just, what happens when you bid without, okay, the critical error on this website. Okay, let me see if this helps. You may just have to make a new account. Well, I mean, that's what I'm going to actually try to do is force it to make a new account. Oh, what is your name on here? Why can't I think of it off the top of my head? I know that you live in El Paso. Maybe if I just type in El Paso. Am I doxing you? That's not really doxing, right? Hold on, I can do it this way. What is my email? There's the name. Okay. I found it before you. It's not finding any... Why are you doing this to me? What happens if you just make a new account? Because maybe if I could try off this. Because that's weird. It is not even letting me find you. Oh, wait, you know why? I think I did find this out once. Okay, hold on. Here you are here. I'm going to delete this. It doesn't have anything to do with... that's just from that. And then it's the WooCommerce that I think I have an issue with. I'm deleting them both just in case. And see if you can make a new one. Yeah, that's funny because it doesn't show that you even are in here. I apologize, guys, for taking the time doing this. It's just been... It didn't, Joseph, it still didn't get you. I need to just delete you guys. That sounds so mean. From the server thing and see if that works, because I don't know why it does this. Yeah, it's showing no data for anyone with your name, which obviously you've been a customer. The flowers. See if that did it. Let me know if it doesn't. And the reason I'm doing this now while we're still working on this project is it gives us time to kind of go back and forth and see if we can. This is an ongoing, if you're new here, this has been an ongoing problem with my website. Just people can't get logged in to make bids. And we've found for some people we've been able to solve it and others we just never were. So it's like while we're actively having this issue, it makes it easier to, so you get the email. Oh, you get what emails? See, yeah, I don't know. See if you can go ahead and make a new account now, if it'll let you. Joseph, let me delete you too. Which seems so mean. Are you in there? Joseph, there you are. I'm deleting you right now, Joseph. Oh, you just made an account. Last activity, January 2nd, 2025. Date registered January, okay, that's 2023, makes sense. I don't know about how you jumped into the future. That's impressive, but let me see if I can delete you. because I wasn't able to delete update user, set new password. How do I delete off this? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. This is a different screen than what I was able to delete the other one. That is it because it's customers? Because you're already there and I can't delete it? Joseph, were you not able to just log in? Because I think I can reset your password. Let me try to send you a new one. I think that ends up being set new password, send reset link. I just send you a reset link, and I'm going to log you out and then set a reset link and see if that works for you, Joseph. We're trying a different solution for you because Melinda, or sorry, I'm doxing again, but she gave the name. Is not even showing. No, now she is. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to try to reset, log you out of all sessions, log out everywhere, and reset, send a reset link. Let me know if that works for either one of you guys. It just let you in, Joseph? I wonder if that fixed it. If just, yeah, let me know if you're like, weird. Okay, back to the artwork. Let's finish this guy up and then we can get to questions and box opening and show you my favorite brushes. They're not really new brushes. I actually bought them years ago and they just sat waiting for me to do a review. And I finally, the other day, was like, hey, I should open this up. I wasn't even doing a review yet. I was just looking at the brushes. And because some of the brushes that I have used, I was going to link. I think that's what it was. I wanted to link some of the brushes that I use, and they don't even sell them. They were Amazon cheapy brushes. They're great. I like cheapy brushes for acrylics, though. But they don't carry them anymore. So I found one set that they still carry that I bought years ago. And they're so good. So I bought more because they're so good. I'm just throwing in a few little lines in here. Is that? Oh, my camera died. Hold on. Because why wouldn't it? Of course it did. Let's see. Deactivate. Activate. We're back. Okay. Geez, I wonder how long ago that died. Okay, and I'm just going to do a little bit of shading, like defining. I'm just lightly going over all of this to tone some of this down right on the back of the neck here, and I'm pulling that in, and you can still see the details from what I did underneath. I'm just darkening some of that up. This is with that, that's not emerald green, that is the deep cobalt green. I'm going to pull a few more in here. I'm going to do a little bit more in this way. And I want some more of the lighter green. This is my spring green. I'm pushing pretty hard to get this to show up at this point. Okay, now that doesn't, it looks more green than it does in person. Let me show you on this camera, because that green is a lot brighter. Actually, we'll see if it even shows up as bright on, yeah, you can see better there. That gives you a better idea of the lighting. The green's there. Oh, I like how he's coming out. Do I want to do anything else on him? Maybe a little bit more with the green right in here. Just a few little defined teeny tiny clumps. I would actually like my white to stand out a little bit more in a couple of places. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to try with my drawing Chinese white, if I can find one of them. I'm in luck. Because some of this just, I want a little bit brighter. Oops. Okay, I'm not trying to make so much of the little lines and a lot of this. I just want that white to stand out more. So there, and I want to pull some in between. I'm pushing really hard to get to stand out. You don't want to, what I'm doing right now, we call that burnishing. I'm jamming the pencil into the paper. It comes out super smooth. So like everything's really blended. You don't get that grainy, gritty look. But I'm also flattening the tooth of the paper in doing that. So it limits how many layers I can get on top. So I don't want to burnish until I get to those final layers. Like right there, I feel like that the white could be a bit brighter, but the pencil's not sticking well. So a solution, let me show you guys a trick to get your whites a little bit brighter, and I don't have any over here. I need a Faber-Castell Perfection Eraser. Let me find one. Mine's green because this is one from Mexico. For some reason, this is years ago. Conejo, if you guys remember Conejo, he actually sent this to me so long ago. A bunch of these. They made them different. Like the eraser part's the same, but the labeling is different for some reason. The ones that you normally get, the Faber-Castell Perfection Erasers, they have a brush at the end, and the casing is a cream instead of the lime green that I've got. So I want that white to stand out a little bit more. I'm just going to lightly erase where I want that brighter highlight, lift some of that color so it looks a little bit more dull. And now when I go on top of the white will usually stand out really well because I brought some of the paper back, which allowed it to stick better. So now that white is just like in your face white. You can do that on any paper. If you get to where the white is just not sticking that well, it's kind of blending in, it's lightening the color, but it's not coming out as white as you want it to be. Use your Faber-Castell Perfection Eraser, which is kind of like an ink eraser. It's not your normal eraser, it's much more rough. Erase the area you want super bright, and then your white will usually, if you do it right, will stick really, really well. When SGWW said, what is on your nails tonight? These are, it's called Gnome Sweet Gnome. I don't know if you can, it's not really in focus. More of my Lily and Fox nail wraps. I also found another place, this one's in Canada. They have the same ones, but sometimes a different pattern. Easy Nails is another one that's really good. So Lily and Fox and Easy Nails are my two that I've been ordering from. They're nail wraps, and they're only $3, $2.99 for a set, and they work so well. They stay on your nails. For me, at least a week. Usually every 5 days or so I want to redo them, but just because I like to redo them and I keep buying these stickers. But see, I'm just lightening some of these areas up. We are about done with this guy. A few more individual lines. And then before I sign him, actually it's a little bit brighter than I want it to be. I want that to transition. Where is a darker teal? I think Polychromos has one. It's going to be a little bit darker, but it'll give me a nice transition. Yeah, go right over that so that fades into it nicer. Where did I lost one. Oh, here it is. Here we go, pulling that up. Much better. I want to darken a couple spots here. Just lightly going over that. This one is Cobalt Turquoise by the Polychromos pencil there. Okay. And now before I sign it, I need to know where that mat is going to go because it is going to chop some of this off. And again, I'll be answering your questions at the end of this. So don't think, if you feel like I'm ignoring you, I am, but only temporarily. Just lightly, just a small signature over here. Oh, my first one of 2025. assuming you can even read my writing. There we go. Oh, we have a super chat. Oh, Gibson heard that. From 1SGWW, she said, Happy New Year's, boys. Oh, they know. Yeah, come on, you can come get your super chat. Thank you so much. Okay, there we go. Good boys. Let me put these pencils away because I need acrylic paints next. And were you able, I need to scroll back up. Were you able, the cameras, okay, got that. So were you able to log in this time, Joseph? Like, I know you said you logged in. It didn't do that this time. So maybe just resetting it. I had to choose for it to log you out everywhere. I don't know where else it thought you were logged in on my site, but yeah. Okay. Go lay down. You already got it. Go lay down. Thank you so much, 1SG. Melinda, I'm calling you Melinda. It's faster. Okay, let me put the pencils away so we can show you. We'll be answering your questions now. I've got a Dick Blick order we can do a box opening with, because I honestly don't remember what I ordered because it was weeks ago and it's been sitting in my haul ever since because I am that lazy. And answering all of your questions. And I am going to show you how I am finding to get the tiniest detail lately in acrylics. So much easier than my usual liner brush. It could have been, Joseph asked if it could have been the message board from a while back. It might be that. And what's weird because I removed it. So I don't even know. And it should be different because it seems to be an issue with the WooCommerce portion. I don't even know. And I don't know how to fix it. Let's see. Is it okay to put an outline over your bird in the painting, like that white highlight? Yeah, you could do it. If you like the look of the highlight, it's art. If you think something might look cool, and this is actually a good thing to talk about. If you think something in your painting will look good to deviate, if I do this different than the reference photo, should I do it? Is it okay to do it? Yes, do it. You're only going to find out if it's cool if you try it. What's the worst that happens? You hate it and you don't do it again. But if you love it, it may be something you start doing all the time. I put aqua, like, let me see. I think I've got one over here. I tend to line things with teal all the time. Here's one. Oh, Matt just broke something. I was curious, what would it look like if there was a glow behind this bird? These are 3 different reference photos. Well, that wasn't a reference photo in the background, but the pine cone and the finch were not from the same photo. And I was curious, what happens if I make it glow? I'm not going to find out if I don't try. And turns out I loved it. And I actually really love this painting because of that. If I hadn't made it glow, I think it would have been pretty, but it would have just been a little bit boring. Here's another one with outer glow. It has some of the aqua glow. These are all available on my website, by the way, if you want to buy art. But this guy's got a lot, some of the, well, it doesn't look as obvious on the camera, but he's got that line of this outer glow that was not in the reference photo. Actually, that leaf and that bird and that background, all different scenes. The leaf was in the daytime, the bird was in the daytime on a different branch. That background, I wanted the dark, I love dark, like kind of an indigo blue with green. Love that combination. And so I wanted to see what would happen if I combined them. And I loved it. You've got to, with art, be willing to sometimes have things go terribly wrong and go, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Because sometimes it's amazing if you do it. You're going to have things that don't work out. But that's how you develop your style. You develop what you like in art by trying things. If you don't try, you're never going to know. And I know that sounds like so cliche. Everyone says that all the time, but it's true. With art, you have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to experiment in order to find those really cool things. Otherwise, your work is just going to look like everyone else's. If we're all using the same reference photo and we're never making changes, we're not changing the background, we're not trying things like, what happens if I outline this in aqua? Does that make it look more realistic? No. Does it make it look really pretty, really unique, really cool? Probably. Try it. You're not going to find out unless you find out. And honestly, with that, like with the aqua, if the aqua was too bold, I can tone it down. It's not a big deal. In this case, to hide it, fix it, whatever. I'm listening to my husband clean up the broken glass and doing the wife thing of, oh, I should get out there and help, but I can't because I'm live streaming. But anyway, where did my live stream go? Oh, I hope we're still here. It looks like we're still here. There we go. So yes, no, you should always be experimenting. You should always be trying new things. And sometimes you might ruin something. That's a part of the process. It's something that is going to happen. Don't let it discourage you. Now you know, hey, don't do that. I don't like this color combination. I don't like, or I did something and I still don't actually know why it happened. I had a thing where paint was lifting up and I don't know if it was the problem with the gesso, the way it was sanded, did it not dry long? I don't even know what the problem was, but there was a problem and I didn't find, I'm not going to find out. And like, I've got to make the mistake in order to find out, hey, don't do that again. So, I mean, I actually, in that case, still don't know for sure what happened, but these are all things that you need to just keep in mind and experiment and be willing to make some things come out really ugly. So, okay, let's talk about the acrylic brushes that I'm obsessed with after I get a drink of tea. And again, I'll be coming back to the other questions. I know I'm kind of jumping around, and every once in a while, one of the questions is standing out to me. But I'll be answering everyone's in a moment. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about are these brushes. So these are Artify brushes. The link is in the video description. It is an Amazon affiliate link, but like I'm not affiliated with Artify at all. It comes in a little bit pack. Now, I prefer brushes with a longer handle when possible. These are shorter. That's my only real complaint. Like, they're kind of shorter brushes. But for these details, that's even a rake brush. They've actually got a rake brush. I haven't tried that one. I don't know how good that is. The brush that I have been using, I've got 2 brushes of theirs that I've been using. Both are good. Out of this set, oh, apparently 3, because I've got a tack one bristle. Where's the one I love? We're getting married. We're so in love. Don't tell Matt. Here it is. This is just a round brush. It's their 5. I don't know. It's just listed as 5. But this brush is getting me more detail than my liner brush is easier. Like it is, and you can do that with any brush that's long. I love this specific brush. I am in love with, and I'm going to be sad when it gets worn out and doesn't get as fine of a detail anymore. But, by the way, here is the Hummingbird in the better light. I reserve the right. He's prettier in person. That blue is a little bit more teal. It looks kind of navy on the camera. It looks more teal in person. But I need to move him out of the way for a moment so I can do the painting. So this is a painting that I am working on. It's huge. I'll show you this way first. It's over on Instagram if you want to see better photos. Actually, that looks pretty good in here. That is a lot of little teeny tiny detail. It's a 30-inch round canvas. And I'll just do some detail work over, I'll just pick a flower and show you what I mean by how little these lines are getting. I'm in love with it. Let's do this. Nope, not that one. Actually, we can leave it on that one for a second. I don't even have this open yet. So this brush, I listed 2. This is the smaller set I listed in the video description. I got the bigger set too because they were on sale. Actually, I think right now they're still on sale if you're watching this live. It's a good deal. So I would get both if it were. I was going to say I would get both if it were me. I am me and I did get both. So one of them years ago, but now the other. So whenever you're using a liner brush or whatever that you're getting fine detail with, oh my gosh, this is such a mess over here. I have to move more stuff than I thought I did. I am not ready to switch mediums yet. Okay. This is how my studio ends up being such a mess. I just move stuff out of the way and then forget about it. Okay. I need to move this back some. And let's pull that easel up. Of course, this is going to overexpose all this. The colors aren't as pretty as they are in person, but whatever. I think you'll still be able to see the detail. So let's head over to the palette. Whenever we want to do fine details, we're going to thin the paint with water. So I'm starting by getting that brush wet, thinning it with water, and let's just use, what am I going to add details to? I'll probably use white. I need some more highlights on some of these anyway. I'm thinning that out, twisting that in there. Now notice that the brush, the paint, is only on the front half of the brush. Don't get paint back here. When you get paint back here, when that builds up right at that edge, the bristles go from being nice and tight to this. So we need these brushes to be super, super good condition. But I can get these skinny lines, you can't even see, I don't know if that's even showing up, how thin, just tiny, like just hair thin. Tiny, you know what, I don't even think I'll show it on that camera. But just barely putting pressure. The harder you push, the thicker your line is going to be. But I can, like here, I'll outline that. Can you even see that line? It's so little, you might not. just the tip of those bristles touching. And it is my current favorite brush, more so than even the liner brush. If you like fine detail, find decent, and it can be cheap. You don't even have to have super expensive, brush stroke was going to be too big, I think. That one you might have been able to see. That line, actually it looks thinner in person. That camera makes everything look thicker. But thin, super tiny, tiny little lines. Get some little highlights in there, little dots. But this brush, I am loving this set for my tiny little things. So yeah, that I wanted to show you, and I don't know that it was the best example. I'm probably going to have to do a video with my good camera to really show you. I'll do an edited review of these brushes, but that set I am loving right now. One of the problems I've always had, I need to update my website with this too, because that was the one thing I couldn't easily link people which brushes I use, because I'm usually using generic stuff from Michaels or Hobby Lobby. And I love, when it comes to acrylic brushes, generics are fine. Watercolor, you're going to need to pay a bit more. Like, it depends on the medium you're working in, but acrylics, I'm a huge fan of my cheapy brushes. They just work. I can trash them. Doesn't matter. I'm not upset. They're fine. Artify is the name, Kathy. They're listed in the video description. It's my Amazon affiliate links. So this brush, and I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon because, you know, I can give you guys affiliate links if I end up liking them. But I will not recommend something I don't like. These are so good. This brush, this set comes with, you've got rounds, you've got angled, flats. Most of what I'm going to be using are the rounds and the filberts. Even these little guys. I mean, they're not, this isn't as useful for acrylic. Let's see, can you see how tiny the bristles are? Like, it's super short. It'll work for a few uses, but because it's so short, it's not going to take long before the paint ends up building up right in here. Once the paint builds up there, that's when your brushes start doing this. These brushes, it comes with a fan brush. They're for acrylic. This is the one thing. These are trash. These are not, there are very few good uses for a fan brush. And this size and the tack-on bristle, everyone thinks with paintbrushes, like, they think, oh, I'm going to be artsy and I'm going to use this fan. And you still see people using these fan brushes in videos. There are way better options that are going to make your life way easier. These brushes, honestly, I use them more to brush away like eraser marks or something like that. Like, they're way better options. That brush is kind of like somebody who needs to mow their lawn, but they use a pair of scissors. Could it work? Yes, but it's probably not going to be your best choice. So anyway, that's, but all the sets come with that. Let me show you the larger set. It just comes in this little box, and both are linked in that description. These I haven't used yet, but they look to be about the same. Let's see. Yeah, I know, Nick isn't here. I saw that. He messaged me today. I wonder if he didn't know I was live streaming today. Okay, so here is the other set. I think the color I got was birch, and then the color on the other one was white. It looks like the sets are slightly different. Now, this one gave you, the bigger set has 1 inch thick, and it looks like 1.5 inch thick brushes. So those look pretty nice. They feel about the same as the other one, but you've got those nice round brushes again. So that is, the plastic smells weird. You've got some liner brushes. These are just good sets. So I now have these sets I can recommend people on my website when somebody is new, getting a new set of supplies, like this set of brushes, along with mop brushes, which are really my powder brushes, like maybe 3, 4 of these, and this set, you're all set for acrylics to get started. I mean, there's other brushes that I use too for different techniques, but this is a really good start. Like, if you're just day one painting, this is what I would recommend people go with. Either of these 2 sets would be fine. And obviously I use other brushes, and I like to have a huge set of, I've got hundreds of brushes over here I've been collecting for years, but to get started, seriously, they're real, like, I'm shocked at how nice they are. Okay, I was not expecting to love them so much. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way, and we'll do the box opening and then get to your questions. So here is my Blick box. I know I got a bunch of acrylic paint. This is more of, what did Lisa run out of and have to replace? Let's see. We'll open it with this. I don't know if you can even. There we go. They really shoved that in there. That was like, that's kind of funny. Like, was just shoved. That's weird. Somebody packed in an interesting manner. One of the reasons that I like ordering from Blick, I've not had many problems, but when I have, they fix it so easily. If you ever buy like a set of paper, pack of paper and it's bent at all, like even just the corner of it is bent, I make them replace it because I did not pay for paper where the corner is. Like, I want perfect paper. So with Blick, Jerry, I don't remember if I've had to contact Jerry's, but I know for certain the few times, there's only been a couple of times I had to contact Blick when there was a problem with the order. They took care of it so easily. Like, they're wonderful. So I'm a huge fan. Okay, so we have, I keep going to that one. We've got a huge thing of Liquitex gesso. This painting that I was showing you earlier, that should have had 3 coats of gesso before, my hair is like tickling my nose. 3 coats of gesso before I sand it, but I ran out of gesso. So it really only has like 2.5 coats and then sanded, but it seems to have worked out all okay. So new thing of my Liquitex gesso. And what I do is put gesso on the canvas, 2 or 3 coats, let it dry completely in between each coat, and then use a 220 grit sandpaper to lightly sand it. And that gives me that super, super smooth finish so that getting the fine lines, the little details is easy. If you're working on a canvas that has too much tooth, it's too bumpy, your results are bumpy. No matter how good your technique is of applying the paint, it's gonna look bumpy. You get that dry brush, that rough look. So by using a canvas like this, now if I can buy a canvas that's already smooth, I'm gonna go that way. I go with Frederick's, well, I'm sponsored by Frederick's, so obviously them, but I'd already only sworn off all other brands of canvases after way too many issues with warping and different problems. So, with this though, I love the Convexo canvas, but the Convexo canvas comes as a very heavier tooth, like it's a rougher, heavier tooth canvas. But that doesn't work for my technique. So I can still use that canvas. I just have to put 3 coats of this on and then sand it down. Next, we've got acrylic paint. So I've got raw sienna. I was definitely out of that. Light violet blue. I don't know why I bought this. I have no idea. Oh, that would have been easier. I wouldn't have had to mix it because this is actually a color. Look how much easier that would have been as my base layer for these instead of mixing that color if I had that at the time. Maybe that's why I bought it, because I was sick of mixing that color. It's possible. I don't usually buy these pastel colors because you can just mix it on your own unless I know I'm going to use a lot of it. I'm really not sure why I bought this. It's possible I ordered a different color. I've got some Peruvian blue hue. I don't remember. It's been so long, I don't even remember adding half of these colors to my cart. But it's pretty. It looks like indigo. Is it Light Fast? Where's the Light Fast? Light Fast 2. Very good. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, I got a big thing of phthalo blue. I need somewhere else to put these as I pull them out. We got, oh, I wanted to try this. This has very mixed reviews. It's a fine line masking fluid. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things that might work like twice and then just be dried up inside and not really work anymore. But another thing that people had in the reviews, they showed in photos. So I don't know if you can see the little tube. This, when they would squeeze it, it was coming out of the top of the tube like it was kind of defective. So I'm super curious how this is going to work out. So I'll be doing a review on that for masking fluid. So for like, you do watercolor, Inktense, I'll do it when I airbrush a background. I'll use masking fluid. So yeah, I got 2. Oh, and I got a refill. I don't remember ordering I kind of remember. I just don't remember why I ordered the refill. I'm going to guess it was on sale. There's a very good chance of that. Okay. Although it's still kind of weird that I would get a refill or buy a refill when I don't know if it's any good. I also got, oh, so this was on clearance. This is cadmium red hue, Ultrec Artist Oil Color. So I think it was like $2. It was super cheap, whatever it was. Wait, is it on here? Does it show me the sale price? $3.77. So yeah, super, super cheap is why I bought that one. Oil paint lasts me forever. Like that paint goes. So one of the things when I started this painting, my big one I showed you, I was completely out of black airbrush paint, but I needed black to go around the edge. So I ended up having to mix ultramarine blue and burnt or raw umber, which gives you pretty much black, not as dark as I wanted. I had to do more coats than I would have liked, but yeah, this is why I got a big thing of black because I ran out completely. Big thing of phthalo green, big thing of titanium white, which I don't think I needed. I'm not sure why that was in my list. And some raw umber, because I used all my raw umber with the blue making black. It's not actually a color I normally go through very fast. And then my colored pencils are these are just replacement refills. Oh, no one's going to be surprised by my color choices. Several Derwent Lightfast White, Derwent Lightfast Nightshade, and a lot of Derwent Lightfast Purple. Lots of purple. This is one of my favorite colors. Like, this is the best colored pencil. I only got 2 nightshades. The rest looks like I got 5 each of purple and white. So, yay! That is my stuff. I'm excited to try this masking fluid and see how, it's a fine liner, so you're supposed to get like, I'll show you the tip. You're supposed to be able to get super teeny tiny detail. Oh, part of the needle felt. Oh, it has a thing to unclog. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see. There's a needle in there. I wondered how that was going to work because look at how tiny that tip is. It actually shows you better. Yeah, it's a tiny tip. So for little details when you're doing masking fluid with watercolor or whatever, that's kind of annoying. This is going to solve that, but it's got this little needle that sticks out that you can kind of see. So that when you put the lid on, it's going to unclog it in theory. We'll see how that actually works out. I'm excited. I like it in theory, but I have a feeling it's, I don't know. Masking fluid's such a pain in the butt. So those are my new supplies. I'm excited. I totally forgot I ordered that masking fluid. I'm curious now. Okay, let's get to your questions. So I'm gonna have to scroll up. We don't have Nick here, so I've got to scroll to the beginning and we'll just come down. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if this cut some of them off. It did. Okay, and I apologize because the first hour, I can't scroll back farther to see I wonder if I can do it this way. Let me see if I can cheat. Hold on. If I go to this, I bet you that I can't see it until, let's see. Mute that. Okay, if you had a question before this, I apologize. This is as far back as I'm able to go right now. When we were talking about the ad blocking the bird, but it is further back. So let's start with what I can find here. I apologize. Normally we have Nick here, but he wasn't here tonight and I didn't plan that out well. I probably should have told him I was live streaming. I don't know, but I just assume everyone knows what I'm doing and reads my mind. So if I miss a question, ask it again if you're still watching, and I apologize. Just scrolling down to see where the first one. That was, yeah, basically when we had the critical error on the website. Anything before that, I can't see. So I super apologize. Okay, Spyro said, or the Spyro fans said, is there a reason why you don't sell some of your art on eBay sometimes? Do you just not like the website for selling your art? Just wondered about that. There's no real benefit to me selling on eBay. If I sell on eBay, I have to go by eBay rules. So let's say a buyer, you occasionally, and while I still recommend people sell on eBay, you occasionally have buyers try to screw over, like scammers, will buy something and then return. eBay requires you to have a return policy. Even if you're like, no, I don't do returns. eBay's like, yes, you do. So it's very weird the way eBay runs stuff. And maybe some of that changed, but I know back last I checked, that was the case. And sometimes people were sending sending back a box with like bricks or whatever. So it looked like the weight of what was sent back when it went through the postal stuff was the same as the original item. So like people were doing that with designer purses and such for a while. I can just not, I have my own website with my own thing that doesn't work half the time. I can sell off my own website. There's no reason for me to pay eBay fees, and eBay takes, if you sell something, eBay does take a chunk of that. Now, if you sell something and you weren't otherwise going to sell it, it's worth it. I don't have a problem with him taking fees. It's just that I already have my own website, so why not just sell it? Like, it makes more sense for me to sell on my own site. And avoid all of that. I mean, no matter what, I have PayPal fees and I have all of that. And there are buyer protections because you can pay on PayPal on my website or what. think, do I have PayPal or Square? I don't know. I have one of those on my website. But there are buyer protections, but it's not to the extent like eBay is so bad about always siding with the buyer, even if the buyer was scamming the seller. And I don't even have to deal with that because I already have my website. So that is why. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm just scrolling. The Spyro fan said, how many hummingbirds have you painted before in life? A lot. I don't even know. A lot. A lot. Let's see. What is your favorite media? This is Tiffany said, what is your favorite media? Like used paint, pencils, pastels, acrylics. Acrylics are definitely my favorite. I mean, with acrylics, I feel like there's nothing I can't do with acrylic or with any other medium that I can't do with acrylics. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love other mediums, and I would get bored if I was only using acrylics. I definitely like everything, but this makes me so happy. The colors are bright, the size, this is a big thing too, the size. With acrylics, I can go huge pretty quickly. If I did something this big in colored pencils, next year I would still be working on this. So with acrylics, I like how big I can go. I like, I don't have to frame this, like it's just gonna hang on the wall exactly as it is. So that is a big bonus. Yeah, you pay more for the canvas, but again, no frame needed. So that is, acrylics are definitely my favorite. I like every medium. I like every medium except pastels. I like pan pastels, but not normal pastels. I like working in lots of stuff. Let's see, I answered that. Spyro said, is it okay to put, okay, we talked about that. Are you good cleaning your brushes? Oh, you might not have been talking to me. Missed the name. Okay, we got that. Yeah, Crafty Cat said, good to know. I just got some pastel paper from Amazon and it was dog-eared in one corner every page. I would still return it. Amazon's usually pretty good about returns. That's the only reason I think I order from them. Occasionally I won't realize I'm ordering from a third-party seller that has a weird return thing, but I would absolutely return it. It is not your job to use paper paper's expensive. If I pay $30, $20, if I pay $10, I don't care. Whatever I pay, I expect the paper to be packaged properly. And if the seller did not, or Amazon, like if they did not package it in a way that protects the paper, that's on them. That's their responsibility to replace it. And the cool thing with Amazon, or not Amazon, I would have to ship it back. Blick, every single time, they told me just to keep the damaged paper or to donate it. Well, I have to chop that off so I don't have as big of paper as I did before, but in every case, I've been able to just use part either for scratch paper, for demonstrations, I was able to use it. I would never have paid full price for it. Like even if they came back to me and said, hey, you can send it back to us, or if you want a credit of like 50% or whatever, I probably would have taken the credit and kept the paper, but they always let me keep it too. So yeah, they're really good about it. Amazon, I would definitely have to send it back. Let's see. Yes, if you are not already, sign up for as little as $6 a month. You can become one of my students over on Patreon. You get access to over 400 of my longer lessons in multiple mediums: acrylics, colored pencil, charcoal, airbrush, oil painting. There's more. I'm just not thinking of all of them. There's a lot of mediums. You can see my Patreon video library if you go to lachri.com, and just at the top it'll go Patreon video library, and you can see what is available if you're curious. And yeah, as little as $6 a month, you can cancel anytime. And now when you sign up, well, it's the beginning of the month, so it doesn't matter, but like even if you signed up at the end of the month, you're not going to get charged until the end of the next month, whereas before it was always you pay now and then again on the first of each month. It doesn't do that anymore. It's just whatever day you sign up is when they charge you next time. So yay. Let's see. That just jumped. I'm just scrolling down. What brand of masking fluid is the bottle with a tiny tip? It was, what was it called? Can I see it on this? I can't tell. Oh, I guess I just bent over and got that. Fine line. It looks like is the name. Masking fluid pen. I don't know. I'm not like giving you a recommendation. It might be terrible. I don't know. I'm going to try it. Let's see. Patty said, I tried that masking fluid and it only worked once. That's kind of what I'm expecting to happen, honestly. Impossible not to get dried masking fluid in the tip needle. Cannot clean it out to create a large enough hole to get it to flow through. So this is my thought on that. It comes with its normal lid. I'm thinking remove it, let it dry inside and pull it out because it should be rubbery. I might be able to pull whatever's clogging it in one piece with my airbrush needle. That is what I'm thinking, because that was my thought too. Even with the needle that pokes it through, I had a feeling that that was gonna like be one of those one-time things. I'll love it the first time. So I'm definitely, in order to review it, I'm gonna have to try it a few times, because one time it might work great. And I think that that's what you see a lot on reviews. People use them once, left a review right then and didn't realize, oh, just kidding, it only worked the one time. So I'll be testing that for us for sure. We'll give it a good test. The auction says it ends January 31st. Mother. Why am I not surprised? I was having problems with everything last night when I was scheduling this stuff, or yesterday. Let's see. Comments, payments, products. Products. Let me see if I can fix that. Probably not. No, it says December 31st. What? Why you gotta be a pain? There's an autosave of this post. I think I fixed it. Let me see if it lets me save it. Sometimes it gets weird if there were bids and won't let me do anything. Let me know if that fixed it or if it ruined it. It could go either way. Let's see. Does it still show? Still shows we've got bids, so I think it didn't ruin it. Oh, then they must have made that better, because it didn't used to let me do updates like that. Yay. Okay, let's see. Do you like to color in adult coloring books? If I had time, yes. But if I have time for art, like I need to be making Patreon videos and editing, and there's just no time for that. But yes, I would love to if I had time like that. Maybe someday. I have some adult coloring books. I have a Warcraft one and I think a Harry Potter one. And I would love to spend some time like that. Just sounds like so much fun, but yeah. Let's see, are there tutorials for darker skin tones in colored pencils? I do. There's a little girl, I believe she's Indian, and she's got much darker skin tone. She's the cutest little girl, but she's in colored pencil over on Patreon. Let's see. Might just scroll too far. Oh, Jen had asked about, thank you so much for Erin bringing this up, because I remembered there'd been a good question about that. Jen had asked about finding motivation to finish something once you were 80% there and not wanting to give up. I was interested too. Thank you so much for pulling that up. Don't let yourself start something new until you finish your current project. That's one of my personal rules that very, very rarely gets broken. If it gets broken, it's because a work-related thing I have to get done, not because I randomly am deciding on my own. Like this project, I've got to get started on a horse commission for my tax lady, and I have to finish this first, which means I need to get my butt moving. And I had put this off because, so I was sick for like right after Thanksgiving for almost 4 weeks. If you guys remembered, I was coughing nonstop. It was terrible. I was really sick, and I just was not getting that much work done. So I was doing more work that I could do at my office, because that's like the extent of the energy I had. And that makes me cough now. I just did not get a lot done. But now that I'm doing it, what I do for myself is, okay, I'm painting from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., whatever. Set your schedule, and I'm going to sit at that easel. I'm going to get myself a tea or whatever fancy drink you want, a coffee, whatever, a glass of wine, doesn't matter. And I'm going to sit here and work during these hours with no interruption. Now that's a thing that I find I have a hard time too, if there are a lot of interruptions. Like if Matt keeps coming in, and Matt isn't prone to doing that, but like if somebody comes in and asks me a question, or the dogs are constantly, I want out, I want in, I want out, I want in. Every time I stop and have to take care of something, that's distracting. So I try to set a time that like, okay, Matt's gonna watch the dogs. I'm just focusing on this. This is all I need to worry about right now, and these are my hours, and I'm gonna make myself do it. Because I can't just, I mean, it's my job, so it's going to be a little bit different for me. I can't just not be motivated anymore. Hurry up and do it. And honestly, sometimes when I've lost motivation, because that happens to all of us, you lose motivation on the one piece and you're kind of excited to start something new, that is going to make me work even faster on the current piece just to get it done with. Just you rip off the Band-Aid, just finish it off so you can start that new project. Don't get in the habit of getting almost done and then putting it to the side, or getting almost done and putting it to the side and not doing any artwork. Either one's bad, but that one's probably worse. I just burped because I'm a classy lady. But you definitely you have to make yourself do it. That's just all there is to it. You don't want to go to work every day. I get it. Didn't want, when I worked at animal hospitals, trust me, I did not want to be there. Even worse, when I worked retail, I did not want to go to work, but you get up and do it. And it's the same thing with painting. People want to pretend that painting is like this fantasy, like I'm always in the mood and I'm going to go and I'm going to, like, the stars are all aligned and the magic fairy dust is flowing and I'm just in the space. No, that's just not how it works. And it's funny because I always get comments, usually from kids that don't understand life. If you're not in the mood, it's not going to come out good. And that's not really how it works. It is my job. I'm going to sit down and do my job. I'm going, yeah, as far as being in the mood, being creative, the coming up with the idea, sometimes that you do kind of need to be in the mood for some idea, coming up with new ideas. But those new ideas usually will come to you while you're working on something. So where you're being artistic, you're doing art. You've just got to make yourself do it like it's any other job. I don't want to go clean the mess my dogs have made in my backyard, but I need to get it done. Seriously, tomorrow. I'm doing that tomorrow. Didn't want to trim those. Those two are a nightmare when it comes to doing nails. I hate doing it because there's so much drama involved, but it needed to be done. You just have to set yourself and make yourself do it, even though you may not be in the mood to paint. It doesn't mean that the painting's not going to be good. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be a good artist or it's not meant for you. That's one of the things that I see too. People make these comments like, oh, you're not meant to be an artist, or they feel like they're not going to be a good artist because they're not always in the mood for it. That's not life. Like, you may love cooking, but sometimes you're not in the mood to cook. That doesn't mean you're not good at cooking or you shouldn't keep cooking. I don't cook, so I don't know. But yeah, so that is great question. You make yourself do it is the answer. Even when you just set a time, 6 to 9 tonight, I am painting. Don't care if I'm in the mood for it. Figure out when you've got available and do it. Let's see, any plans for darker skin tones and colors? Well, I've already got the one. Oh, any plans? So I've got the one, the little girl that's Indian. I think she's Indian, but that one is already available. I'm sure I'll be doing more in the future though. Tiffany said, you know how a lot of artists don't clean brushes. Are you good about cleaning? Oh, that's what you were talking about. No, I'm not good at all. Oil, no. I've got oil painting brushes that have been sitting there for about 6 months and I've still not cleaned them properly. So no, I'm terrible about cleaning my brushes. And that may be part of why I'm not willing to invest a lot of money in brushes. One, I've been using cheap brushes for years and I get the results I like. So obviously you don't need to spend a lot of money for acrylic and oil, different for watercolor. You don't need to spend a ton of money for those brushes. And I know that I am not cleaning them well. I mean, gosh, I can pick up any one of these sitting over here. Well, that one's really damaged, but they're it's a little crunchy there because I did not clean it well. So I can tell you how to clean them well. Do I do it? No, I do not. I mean, I follow rules like I never leave a thing of water with a brush sitting in it. That will always damage the tips within seconds. It takes no time. Never, ever, ever leave brushes sitting in water. It doesn't clean them and it damages them. So, I mean, I follow that rule. But as far as cleaning them well, no, not at all. I mean, I rinse them well, but I don't use soap every time and I probably should. Let's see. Ashley said, Blick replaced 4 pads of paper for a bent corner. They finally sent it wrapped in lots of fluff and corner protectors. That is smart. Yeah, Blick is wonderful. Let's see. Tiffany said, hate to see my brushes dirty, clean after each day. You're good. You are better than me. You are much better than me. Cassie said, someone earlier asked, since green art doesn't sell well, if there were certain other colors that sold better than others. I've never noticed that. The only trend I've ever seen was that green stuff usually didn't sell. Sometimes it does, but not always. Like it's not as prone, and I don't know. It's weird because I look at green and I'm like, I want that because green goes with my decor. Like I love teal with accents of like lime green. I have that throughout my house. So that never made sense to me. I'm like, what? I love green. But yeah, a lot of, apparently it's a thing, like as far as statistics go. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I haven't researched it, but I've read it several times and I was told it by somebody else who owned a art thing. So yeah, kind of interesting. But no, I don't know as far as anything being more prone to sell. That was the only color thing that I'd ever really heard. Now, that doesn't mean that if I think green would look best, that I wouldn't use green. Like I absolutely, I've got hummingbirds. One of my favorite hummingbird ones was an airbrush background with colored pencil over it, and it's primarily green, which is perfect because it hangs on my wall and it goes with my teal. But so I'm not going to stray away from green if I think it looks the best. But in the case of like tonight, there is no reason to make the background green. I actually thought teal looked better. So yeah. Let's see. Monica said, can you go light over dark and vice versa in the same painting? Or do you have to stay working from dark to light in pan pastels? You can do either. It depends on how many layers you have underneath. I can go light to dark or dark to light if it's my initial layers. But when I start building up and it gets super thick, it's always hard. It's going to be harder to make something light usually than to darken it. But that's only usually. Like it depends. If I have a ton of white underneath and I'm trying to make that black, it's going to keep going gray when I put black on top. So the answer is it depends. But if you put a layer of Spectrafix, so you saw me put a layer at the end in between the two mediums, I could have been spraying Spectrafix throughout that, and that would always allow my additional layers of pan pastel. One, again, it's going to stick better, but it also lets the current light, like it seals it down so it stays long term more, but it also lets future layers stick even better to that than just on top of the paper. If I put Spectrafix, let's say I've got something that's black and I'm trying to make it back to white. Well, I would erase that area. So that's your other thing. You can always erase something. If you are getting muddiness in the color and it is not coming out right with pan pastels, erase it and put the color you wanted there. So that would be my first method. But if I had something black and I kept putting white over it, I'm going to keep getting gray. If I have something black and I spray it with Spectrafix and then I put white over it, I'm still going to get gray, but I'll get a lighter gray. Let's see. Thank you guys for remembering these questions. You are amazing. Let's see, one SGWW said there's an additional deal on those brushes. Yep, a lightning deal, 5% on the smaller set if you buy 2 items. There you go. So you can get 5, if you got both those sets, I would do it. I did do it. I love them. Like seriously, my love. Now, I want to throw this out there too with cheap brushes. There is a possibility that they fall apart in months. I don't know. I've only been using this one for a couple of weeks. 2 weeks, 1 week, I don't know. We've spent a lot of quality time together though, so it's been a good week. Sometimes with cheap brushes, parts fall apart. I'm not going to say that they wouldn't do that. I have no idea, and I would assume they probably will because that's what cheap brushes do. Heck, I've had it happen with expensive brushes, but especially with cheap brushes. Now the company is big on like, oh, we use this magic glue and it doesn't fall apart. The bristles don't fall. I don't know. I've had great experience with that, but I've had other brushes that I spent a lot more on fall apart. So that can always happen. I'm not going to tell you that that would never happen with these, but I have been very happy with them. So I say buy all the brushes. Let's see. What projector do you recommend on Amazon? Okay, so, let me get you the link. No, I don't have the link. Are you signed up for my email newsletter? I've been linking that on a bunch of them. Hold on, let me see if I can get my email. Oh wait, I can just link it this way. Let me get my Amazon. Hopefully I'm logged into this one. Go to my orders. I don't recommend it typically if I didn't buy it myself and decide that I liked it. Projector, search orders. There we go. Hopefully it's still in stock and it's still a great price. Yay. Let me get this link and I'm going to put it in the chat. Here we go. Somebody probably got to it before me because other people are faster than me. So it's in the chat. That is an Amazon affiliate link just for transparency. But it's inexpensive. for the quality. Now, it's not like my big projector from, who makes that? I think LG made it for Artograph, but then Artograph got bought out from what I've heard and quality went down. I paid like $700 and something for my one that I use all the time. Yeah, the quality's better. The image is a little bit more crisp. The price on the one I just linked you is so low, it's worth it. It is so worth it. And the way that I liked with that one that I wish mine did is that it allows you to project an image. So I can have the photo on my phone and linked it to the projector and then projected that onto the camera. It's so nice. So like, it's good. It's all you're really gonna need for a projector. I like mine better just because the image is crisper and my eyes are bad, but you don't need that. And I don't think $700 or $700 whatever I paid for mine, which they don't even make anymore, versus because it's an affiliate link, I'm not allowed to say prices. You can go click the link and go look yourself. But that versus that, like that is a small fraction of the price. I don't care if it's not quite as good. And it has elements like being able to project my phone screen or my phone image onto it. So nice, so convenient. I love it. So yeah, that is the one I recommend. Whoops. Do I ever watch other YouTube artists who would like, do you ever watch other YouTube artists who would like to watch? I watch Lena Dania. She's a friend, so of course, but I watched her before I was her friend, so we ended up friends after. Lena Dania is amazing, and I love, love, love her style. Like everything's just so beautiful. Occasionally I watch Aaron Blaze. I haven't watched him in a while for some reason. He just doesn't come up. YouTube doesn't always suggest things. I'm trying to think of who else. What was his name? Alfie? Alf something. I haven't watched him in a while either, and obviously I don't remember his name. He's really amazing. There are a lot of really good artist YouTubers that YouTube just doesn't suggest. It's frustrating. So I forget because I'm like, oh, I forgot about that guy. I need to go look and see what stuff he's made lately. Do you use Spectrafix concentrate or mix it yourself? No, I buy it ready-made. I'm not even getting into mixing and measuring. I don't have time for that. And it lasts so long. I don't go through enough that I even need to buy a concentrate. Like, it doesn't help. Not for me. Let's see. Spyro fan said, what other kind of artist in life do you get inspired looking at their style, or do you find your own style in life? Oh, I follow a lot of people, a lot of artists on Instagram. Tons of artists. I can't even think of their names. There's just a lot of artists that I follow on Instagram. I get tons of inspiration from them. And like there's one artist where she was doing something with wildflowers, and that was what inspired me to be like, that's what I want with these ravens, because this painting's going to hang on my own wall. I'm like, wildflowers would look so pretty in my living room. And so I was definitely inspired to copy that, or not copy, but I mean, I'm getting my own reference photos, but that look and the busyness, like seeing hers made me want to do it. So yeah, I definitely get inspired by other artists. Let's see. How do you clean brushes? So first, rinse them as well as you can in water, and then I use warm water. You don't want to use hot because it can sometimes melt glue depending on the glue that was used. But warm water, I'm not going to lie, I've used hot. I've never had a problem, but I'm not supposed to recommend that because, you know, it could, in theory, cause a problem. But warm water and the the old Masters, I always get this wrong. The Masters, I don't know, it's a tub of, like a block of soap. Lather that up and then rinse it out and you're good. I have videos on it. Oh, I missed a super chat from Art by MB. I think it's not letting me scroll all the way down. Why can't I scroll? There we go. So the boys are being so good. Happy New Year. Do you boys want a super chat? I think that's a yes. There you go. Good boys. Thank you so much. Let's see. What are your thoughts on... Wait, did I go too far? Audrey said, what are your thoughts on having your art being shown in airports? Shown in airports, like where? People show their art in airports? I don't see how that would do anyone much good. Do you have a booth where you're selling it? I would imagine that costing a lot of money. Are they just displaying on the wall? No one's paying attention to it. It's bragging rights for you, but no one pays attention to it or like, oh, I'm going to go look up this artist. So I don't know what the benefit would be there. I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't know people were doing that. Go lay down. Down. Go boys. Let's see. The Spyro art fan said, can you do a full painting in just pastels? No. I don't work in just pastels. So first, pan pastels, never going to get the detail I want. I always am going to have to use a second medium with it. A lot of people will use regular pastel pencils. I won't work with them. They're too dry. They freak me out. Give me the heebie-jeebies. I'm a crazy person when it comes to that and cannot eat that. Nope. Nope, nope. Elf or something like that. Yeah, something like that. And eat elf. Yeah. Just Masters is the name of the brush cleaner. Joseph corrects me on that because I was certain it was the old Masters, like certain. And Joseph had to correct me on it. I felt really dumb because he was right. I was very wrong. Okay. 10 o'clock. We are done. Congratulations to whoever. Let's see if it actually closed to the bidding on that like it was supposed to. Congratulations. Sorry for the trouble on the bidding for the Hummingbird. But I do congratulate who won. Yep, it ended, so yay, it worked as it was supposed to. Hooray! And thank you guys so much for joining. I don't know what we're doing next week. I need to get more canvases. I'm running low. I don't know if I have more. I have to contact Fredericks. So that's why we keep doing, I just spit because I'm a classy lady. That's why we keep doing pan pastels and colored pencils because I'm out of canvas. I might have one hiding somewhere. I'll have to go look. But I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments once this stream ends if you can leave a comment on what you want to see next week. Subject matter, medium. I'll see what I can do. And let's see. Are we good? We're good. I don't know if there's something I don't know. It's the first of the year. My brain's not going to work right. Thank you so much. Check out our moderators channel. Nick, who is not here tonight, he has some good videos. Joseph and Clark Fine Art was she? I didn't see if Clark Fine Art was here tonight. They both do live streaming every week. Definitely want to check out their channels. And anything else? I don't know what else. If you are new, I know I've got a lot of new people over on Patreon. If you want to sign up to the Discord, the sketchbook challenge, or not sketchbook challenge, but sketchbook prompts that I posted for daily sketch ideas, that has a link to the Discord. If it doesn't work, let me know, but that should get you into our chat and you are able to chat with all of us. So like the chat that we're having here tonight, you can chat there, but you can also share photos of your work, your pets, talk about books you're reading. We've got different rooms for everything, so definitely check that out. And that is for members over at patreon.com/Lachri, along with all your lessons and all your other rewards. And I don't know what I'm definitely forgetting something. Happy New Year. Hope your Christmas was amazing. I will see you guys next week. Bye. Wait.